Welcome back for another Minecraft video. This time, once again, we are going over another device that you can make before getting to the Nether, and this one is going to be an XP farm. So one of the most important parts about figuring out where to put one of these is making sure that it is somewhere that is up higher. Because if you have it down lower, then there's a lot more of a chance, like caverns and just other places where enemies can spawn. You kind of want it to be up a little higher just so there's less spots for enemies to spawn, so more of them spawn inside of the place. You need 64 trapdoors, so it doesn't matter what kind of wood you have, but you need at least 3 stacks just to make those 64 trapdoors. Then the next thing, you will want to make 8 treasure chests. So that was another 64 wood. So I was unprepared, had to go and grab a few more iron, but what you do is you make 4 hoppers. This is to help get all of the loot in the end. I always recommend having 1 lightning rod just because it is the highest point. You kind of want to have it way up there and let lightning strike that instead of anything around it. Then make sure to have 2 buckets of water so you have your infinite water source, because you will need 8 spots of water going down. And then also bring a few torches. 9 should be enough. But yeah, just make sure you have some torches. And then you want a whole bunch of cobblestone. Make 1 set of slabs because you'll need them for the actual loot section. But yeah, we'll actually get into more of how much cobblestone or whatever type of building block you want to use is needed after we build it, because there's quite a bit. So we're not going to really build this one up high on a mountain, just kind of showing you how it needs to be done. So we're just going to build it down here. So what you want to do is start off building a little area like this where, I mean, it's going to have the 2x2 gap in the center, but that you have 4 on each of these 3 sides, and then you have an opening there. Hey, there's some Endermen. So some numbers to know on here. There's some dispute online about it, so I mean, it's one of those things that kind of have to be careful about. But so it looks like the main thing for Bedrock version is enemies will spawn within 20, or won't spawn within 24 blocks of you. And then the other number to know about is I've seen anywhere from 23 to 24 blocks, that if a mob falls that far, they die. So, I mean, we're not wanting them to die when they fall. We're wanting it so they have a small amount of health. So the best bet here is to build this about 21 blocks high before we start making our platforms how we do it. So we're at 9 right now, so we have quite a ways to go. Okay, so we have this 21 blocks high now. So then what you want to do from here is make it so it goes out 9 blocks total, so add 8 more blocks to each side than what's on here. And this process does take a while. And then you want to work to make it go out 9 on every single side. Hey, we have a spider friend. Hello, spider friend. Ha, smack, smack. Smack, smack. Bye, spider friend. Aww, oof. Okay, so we have our big platform up here. Anyone who wants to be a math nerd or anything, this platform is 20 by 20 with the 2x2 hole in the center. So then what we start doing is building up the sides. Make sure as you're going through building this up, you make it 3 tall. And then once that's done, the next thing you want to do is make little paths here for that are 2 wide, coming from here going to the walls. So it should look like this when you're all done. You have the path going there with this little wall up here. Then just to conserve some of the whatever blocks that you use for it, just put 1 torch in the center of each of these. Then after you do that, what you want to do is just kind of wall the rest of this in and cover over it with some cobblestone. So pretty much what we're doing with this is just like this. You have a nice, I guess it's technically a 9x9 platform, but really a wall's going to go up on the sides. It'll be an 8x8 platform. Inside of it, we have the torch just to conserve some of the building blocks. I said cobblestone earlier, but I actually meant any of the blocks that you have. and that's just so stuff doesn't spawn inside this little container here. And then you want to repeat that for the other 3 sections. Hey, there's my little allay buddy. Once these are done, then the next thing you want to do is make an infinite water source. So just throw a bucket there and one there. And then you want to grab these and put water in each corner on here, and it's all going to go all the way to the end there. You do that to each one of these sections. So if you're a noob like me and you accidentally fall off, I mean, you can always fill in this spot here, which you can see the water doesn't go all the way to it. And then just make little steps so you can get right back up. And we don't need our infinite water source anymore. Just fill it in and destroy it. Then the next thing you want to do is grab your trapdoors and just place them along the edge like this. Hello, Allay. There, so when all the trapdoors are put in place, it will look like that. Just probably without an allay. So then now we will just build the wall up the rest of the way. So build it 3 more high. So once the wall is in place, it's going to look like this. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need the torches in there. Those are in there just because I want it to be all lit up just for fun at nighttime. So then the final piece we have for this part, just kind of conserve the building blocks once again. Oh, that fell down. So to conserve the building blocks, I usually just make it go in one up here. And if you're like me and didn't bring enough building blocks, then one thing you can always do is just plop a thing of water there, and then you have a nice little elevator to get up and down from here. So then when you get back up here, you just scoop up the water and don't have to worry about that anymore. Then you can finish up the roof. There, and we have the top all finished now, so let's just go ahead and throw a lightning rod on here. So I just kind of dug out a little bit of the wall just to make steps to get in here. So what we are going to do now is first grab our torch from the furthest point away. Then we want to start flipping these down. So what this does is the AI for mobs is not that smart, and when they pretty much see these trapdoors as a way they can get across there. So like when mobs spawn in here, they'll just try to walk over to that area and fall down into the water, and then the water they will get shoved down to the bottom area. But before grabbing this last torch and then going back above, what we want to do, we'll be able to collect all this down below, but we want to break out all those little things we did because I was a big noob and fell down there. So all of those will fall down below. Then we just grab that torch, see how dark it is in here, and then finish sealing it off. Then with those torches, we'll just want to kind of light up this area. I usually go in like 1 or 2 or whatever and just throw some torches in there because we don't want anything spawning on top of this. And then put one around the center area. That should be good. I mean, you can never go too crazy with the torches. If you want to bring more than that and then just toss a whole bunch up here, that's fine too. And then you get down from the top, once again, you put down the water like that. You can actually let it get all the way down there to the bottom. So it's down there, and then you scoop and jump, and then you just ride it on down. So we have one thing left for this. We need to fill in this side. Now, I mean, you can fill in this side as you are initially building it, but I mean, I didn't really have any issue just kind of climbing up here and doing that. Then for now, let's go ahead and just seal that off until we finish this next part. We built this 21 high, it's 3 high in there, so that puts that 24 where the things will spawn. And what we want to do now, hello pig, is dig down a little bit. So you'll want to make sure that the slabs are right here at this ground level. Just put in those slabs there, put them going 3 out. What you want to do here is add these chests and put those hoppers in there. So now we have our chests to collect all the loot that drops down from them. And then this is the fun part, so probably the easiest way is to do it like that. Put those 2 across there, then break out these 4 blocks here. That is a lot that just fell down. And then put 2 blocks in place there. You have a spider that made it out. You can actually get pretty close to them, and the creeper is not going to explode on you. Hello, creeper. So then you can just go through here and just hit these guys a whole bunch. If you have a sword, I mean, you can always use that to kill them a lot faster. Probably not as good of an idea depending what blocks you're using to use either the axes or the pickaxes, because they might break through the back wall. But once we have... There we go. So the nice thing about this, having it as tall as it is, things will still spawn. So when he drops down, he's just a couple hits and he's down. And you collect a whole bunch of XP. And then all of the loot goes down here. So we'll grab our cobblestone, string, arrow, bone, rotten flesh, gunpowder. We would have a golden chest plate there. You get all sorts of fun loot from these guys. So then one more thing to talk about when it comes to inside of this place. I have seen what some people do is they build this up 3, and then they build another layer on top that has these going across. So I mean, you can potentially stack those up pretty high and get a whole bunch of enemies going through. And because they fall into the water, they don't take any fall damage from up there, so yeah, you can just keep stacking this and have an insane amount of mobs come down. There is our masterpiece out in the distance. Hello, LA. Now, if I did my math right, it was 1,794 cobblestone that we used on here. So that would be a little over 28 stacks of building blocks that you have to use. So be safe, may as well say 29 stacks of building blocks. You can always use one of the cobblestone generators like what we showed in the last video. Looks like it is way out there in the distance, that thing with water and lava on it. You can always set one of those up in here and just make a whole bunch of cobblestone. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about it or any other suggestions, different things you do with it, then let us know in the comments. If it was helpful, please leave a like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. One of the next videos will probably go over this cow farm, because it's definitely a nice little setup to make things a lot easier to get a bunch of meat and leather. I also have a few Xenoblade Chronicles 2 videos planned out, and some partly recorded. So if you're here to check some of those out, then know that they will be coming. Kind of slacked a bit at doing a video last week because I've been obsessed with Advance Wars on the Switch. That game's a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.